Hello students, how are you? Fine? Okay. Today we are discussing with you about the new economic policies 1990. Why the new economic policy is required? What is the requirements of the new policies? Just we consider we go back and consider why the new economic policy is required. 50 and 80 is the time of the developments of the Indian economy. And this period, there is a no mass development in Indian economics, and the so many, basically, the industrial sector is the affected to require a more growth. But it is not possible due to the different causes. There are so many factors are affected to the development of the Indian economic in this period. So, there is the fast development and a great to the pace in the economic development. The new economic policies are required. That time, in the times of the 16 to 18, this period is not sufficient to the development of the industrial sectors in India, because there is so many problems here. Due to this problem, we are not sufficient to create a growth rate in industrial sectors. We know that India is the mixed economics, so we are promoting to the industrial sectors as well as the agriculture sector. So we are the combined to the both developments in the agriculture sectors and the industrial sector. It is the cause to more investment in the industrial sectors. When we invested in industrial sectors, that's the result is created to the growth. But this time there is no infrastructure. There is capital requirement is the biggest problem in India. That after 47 we have no sufficient capital to develop and to invest it in different sectors. So we are basically depend 80% populations basically depend on that time in agriculture sector. So we are not from the huge capital to invest in industrial sectors. We know that the industrial sectors require the more capital to the growth, but lack of the capital due to the crisis of the capital, we are not to adjust this situation. So our economic development is not sufficient in this period. After 60s, between the 60 to 80s, this period we must be feel that our economic pace is the very slow. So we have to need to develop in compete to the world market. So we have to the enough developments. So we created to the development. If you require to the create development, it must be happen to invest in industrial sectors, because agriculture sector produce raw materials, and we know that the raw materials cost is the very low in the international market. So we are not carry on the more international monies, international capitals to the invested in India. So we are a producer of the raw materials, not a finished goods. So that time we are not create a sufficient capital to invest in industrial sector. So we are not to complete producer. So when we want to make a producer, this times we have requirement to the infrastructures, technology, machineries, and the most important thing is the capital. So we create the capital. So different economic policies, just like when you consider the 5 years planning, what's happened is planning. We are the focus to how can you develop the economic growth. You have want to finish the poverty, but the basic reason, the first 5 years planning is a failure due to the lack of the capital. Poverty is the huge causes to the backwardness of the Indian economics, and that we have no sufficient capital to invest the industrial sectors. That time we are well understand after the 4th year planning, after 4th planning, the capital is the very important to sort out the different types of the problem in Indian economics. So we want to create the base in Indian economics, we must be have the capital. So new economic policies is the broad-minded policies. Just like before the new economic policies, we have to the license, quota, and the permit system. It is a very narrow-minded situations created to the industrial sector. So we are the broadly thought to the liberalization, privatization, and the globalization policies. It's the replace to the all the license, quota, and the permit system, and it's create the huge borders to the industrial sector. So it is the causes to introduce a huge capital for the foreign, just like FDI, foreign direct investment. The new policies is time to time change, and it's create a huge capital that the foreigners invested in the capital. Liberalization license policy is the product. That means the limited handles are not to operate the business. The private sectors are introduced itself in a different sectors, and it is a causes to the development of the industry. So next video we consider why the requirements of the liberalization, privatization and the globalization, that means new economic policy. Thank you.